BRB UK. Worse teeth, better accents.
Hello, and indeed ahoy hoy, and welcome. It's episode 448 of BRB UK, where we are wondering if not only is football coming home, but has it remembered the keys this time? Joining me is Tim. He's shaking his head. He's shaking his head, looking miserable. How you doing, you miserable old git?
Hello.
All right, and there's another miserable old git, Coleman. Well, you're a slightly younger git. How you doing?
Great. Take that, you Germans.
Yeah, all three of us have had a cracking day at work today, so we are raring to go. Oh, I really hate being an adult sometimes. Do you know what?
Yeah.
My life was so much simpler before KPIs were involved. Key performance indicators.
Aha.
Yes, and integrated resource management. All of these things make my brain very sad. But we're talking about video games now, so that's good.
That'll make you happy. Does that make your brain happy, Dan?
Well, my brain would be happier if I had more time to actually play the darn things, but...
well, yeah.
Hey, there we go. So, yes, how has your PS5-filled week been, Coleman?
Pretty good. Platinumed Miles Morales.
Very nice.
Happy with that, which is funny because the last time I spoke about it was when I was playing it on PS4, and then which would have been some point last year, and I went, and now I'm going to save the rest of this game and get the platinum when I get my PS5 in a couple of months. And
how'd that work out for you?
Just did it.
Lovely.
Then I started trying. I did a bit of Watch Dogs Legion. That game doesn't take an age to load. That's fun. I trialed some
super sexy drive.
Yeah, trialed some Avengers. That plays so much better now. It's on PS5. Very, very happy with that. Looking for a team to assemble at some point. And now I am currently trying.
Good luck with that. That's the only thing harder than finding a PS5.
I know a few people that play Avengers. I just haven't been able to join them because I've been on PS4 and it makes my eyes itch.
Wow.
But now I'm doing God of War finally. Now I've got the PlayStation 5 update on the game, and it runs super silky smooth, and I'm very happy with that.
So is that just the usual thing, same visual fidelity, but 4K 60 FPS? Or have they added extra bells and whistles?
If I remember correctly, the update is some visual improvements, but also because there was an unlocked or a performance mode, which was an unlocked frame rate, but the unlocked frame rate didn't hit 60. It was like, in actuality, like 52 or something. Now it takes it up to a full 60 and has some visual improvements along with that.
Well, that makes me excited in my places.
Yeah.
Even though I'm the only one out of us not to have a PS5, it still makes me excited.
One day you'll be able to walk into a store and look at pictures of them because they still won't be in stock.
I know. It's just absolutely ridiculous.
I have a question for you because something we didn't cover when we were talking about it last week.
Sure.
Horizontal or vertical?
Horizontal.
You mentioned it. Yeah.
It's got a nice little section underneath my desk where my PlayStation 4 was, and initially there used to be like an Xbox One and a PlayStation 4 side by side. The Xbox One is gone and now the S is there, but it's like hidden away because it's such a tiny little console, and then the whole section is dedicated to the PS5.
I'm sorry, that thing is ridiculously massive.
Yeah, yes. It's a big old chunky
like
boy.
Overcompensating. Like, I realise I've got a few fewer teraflops in the Series X. Better make myself look big and threatening.
I'll tell you a funny one, because when I moved my Xbox One, I put it over by the main TV so my girlfriend could use it, but then she never used it. And we had her PlayStation 5 like standing up underneath the TV because the TV's raised and attached to the wall. So we had it standing up, looked quite nice, even though it's a huge thing that and makes the TV unit like drag to one side. And then when I moved the Xbox, I thought, I'll stick the PlayStation under here and put it out the way. And since I've done that, the Wi-Fi signal in this room has improved, and I think that the PlayStation 5 is so large that it was somehow interfering with the Wi-Fi signal because it's right next to the router.
Wow. It was just sucking in. Was it like the gravitational field exerted by its mass was so massive that it actually absorbed electrons?
Maybe.
Blocks out the sun.
I'm a little embarrassed because I've been moaning at Sky about the signal.
Continue moaning. Stick to your guns.
Yeah, I think it was me. So, but yes,
never tell them that.
No.
Never.
No. I worked.
Never.
I worked with Sky Broadband for years, and no one ever called me up to say, "Hey, you're doing a great job."
Hey, just wanted to tell you, my internet's been working for ages.
Do you know what? I love my service. Just wanted to say, good job, guys.
Yeah. I mean, I think any customer-facing thing, no one ever calls up to say, well done. Years in the health service, very few people say thank you.
Really?
People love...
Even when saving
job.
lives and limbs, people don't bother to say
people
thank
just
you.
take it for granted.
I got, when I was a lot younger, I got a couple of awards at Asda for stellar customer service.
Nice. Is that serving people stellar?
Customers stellar?
Yeah, there we go. Me and Tim were on the same wavelength this week, mate.
No, but if you literally, I don't know if they still do that kind of thing, but if you had a great customer experience and you went up to a manager or someone and went, hey, just to let you know, they're doing a really good job on that checkout, then they'll get some kind of cash award for doing that.
Nice. All right.
Yeah.
So do that, everyone. Play it forward.
That's a good thing to do, especially when they've been helping out in the pandemic.
Yeah, if you have a really good customer service experience and they haven't yet been made redundant and replaced by self-service machines, then go give them some praise.
Aren't we full of joy today?
Sorry.
Aren't we full of... We've all had to adult very hard today, and we're all not very happy about it.
Well, our local supermarket has removed half of the tills and replaced them with a much larger self-service section.
Wow.
And then there's a Facebook group complaining about all the people that had now been made redundant so soon after being paraded for being amazing during the pandemic. And it's now get out.
God.
Key workers until we get a robot that replaces you.
Yep.
Yeah, the machines have risen.
See you later,
Terminator 3
minions.
tried to warn us.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So it's like, scan your shopping or give me your clothes, your boots, and your motorcycle.
That's exactly what happens.
Put it in the parking area. Do it now.
I'm just saying, whichever supermarket does actually get Arnie to do the voiceover for their
That's where I'm
checkouts
going.
is going to be onto a winner. That's all I'm saying. You may have stumbled onto something there, Dan.
It is not just this is not just a cheesecake. It is an M&S cheesecake. Do it.
Still off the topic of video games and on self-service checkouts. This might be more applicable to Tim because I don't think Dan's ever done this. But have you ever been to a Pound World or a Poundland?
I have been to a Poundland.
Wait, we are not counting sending your butler to Poundland
No,
as you
Tim,
going to
Tim,
Poundland.
before you start,
that's not the way it works.
Shush now.
Dan goes there to throw things at the customers.
The one thing that
have a pound.
the one thing that upsets me about Poundland is that there is stuff on the shelves that is clearly more than a pound.
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't specify how many pounds.
Even so, you go in Poundland, everything's going to be a quid. No. What's that about?
Well, I wanted to say, sometimes they change the voice on their self-service checkout to fake celebrities and stuff for comic relief, but also at Christmas, you'll have Santa Claus and stuff. So we just
Happy Christmas, you type.
I haven't seen that before.
So, ho, 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 Merry Christmas, welcome to shopping at Poundland, you cheap git. Times are tough. Anyway, video games.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of American listeners going, what the hell are they talking about?
Yeah.
I know, right? What's many downloads did we get from the States? Did we get a lot?
What's a pound? What's a Tesco?
Yeah, we get a few.
Yeah, all right. Yes, our quid dollar pounds, yes. Right, what we done played? Well, I've only dabbled briefly, and I can give you a more thorough going over of this particular title next week. But I availed myself, being a Switch Online member, because that's what all the cool kids are, of one of their 84 quid for 2 game voucher deals, which brings down the cost of buying a new game quite a bit. Because that works out to, 42 quid a game. Look at me with my maths. Which is considerably cheaper than you're going to find it elsewhere, since it's nigh on impossible to find e-codes for a deep discount that you find on other platforms on the Switch, I've found, bearing in mind. So it actually does make a lot of sense.
I did that once, but it seemed much better a deal when they first announced it, because there were games coming up like Smash Brothers and Super Mario Odyssey, and every time I think, oh, I'm going to do that again, and I look at the lineup coming up and go, nah.
Well, fun fact. There is a couple of fun facts here. Not that I encourage people to pre-order these days, but you can use a voucher on a game that is yet to be released.
Yeah,
so
I know
you can go Metroid Dread, have a pre-order voucher, but then obviously you've used your pre-order voucher. So anyway, I used one of my vouchers on Mario Golf Super Rush because I like a golf game. Despite being rubbish at it and not really following it in real life, I just find golf games very relaxing.
Yeah.
Golf games better than actual golf.
Yeah, well, many things are better than actual golf.
Also, family golf games where they're not so hardcore simmy. Yeah, they're very relaxing.
No. The worst competitive family behaviour I've ever seen has been around a crazy golf course. It's because it's the only sport my family can be any good at, quite frankly. The level of skill, minimal. Level of physical ability, needed, minimal. Level of fitness, needed, minimal.
Siblings that tend to fight plus metal objects. Probably not a good idea.
It's still a good idea. So anyway, Mario Golf Super Rush is a golf game. It's on the Switch, and it has a cast of Nintendo favourites who you can be, or you can be yourself. You can like be your me. And
because they're never killing the me's.
They're never killing the me's. They are determined to get as much money out of much value out of that bit of expenditure as they can. So, yes, there's the kind of just a play around to golf as one of your favourite Nintendo characters mode, or there is the story mode. Now, there's not much story in the story mode. I'm not going to kid you.
Yeah, I've heard that.
It's literally, hey, you like golf? We like playing golf. We should play golf. Be better than these people. Look, here's a couple of caricature stereotypes. There's the guy who wears a football helmet who wants to hit the ball really hard, and then there's Toad who likes a little bit of technique, and here's a ghost because why not? He
also
make
there's a
jokes.
comet hurtling to Earth, and also a guy called Sephiroth who's on the loose, and you've got to stop him and figure out the secrets of
medium
Genova.
Of golf.
Yes. No.
I might be mixing up two different games.
Yeah, so a little bit. I've only played about kind of 2.5 hours so far, but what I have played, I have quite enjoyed. The unique selling point of this is that most golf games, you hit the ball and then you are transported as if by magic to wherever your ball landed, allowing you to engage further in exciting golf-based action. Well, in Mario Golf Super Rush, once you hit your ball, you've got to run after your ball. And it's essentially a race. There's several game modes. It's kind of like a race to the line, kind of a trade-off between being first but also reducing the number of shots that you take, because everything you do, like lining up a shot, taking the shot itself, uses up time. You can run around the course. You can bash people out your way. There's like power shots where you can like blast other people's balls out of the hole you want. That sentence sounded better in my head. and
I don't know. I bet it sounded exactly like that in your head.
Yeah, a little bit.
I bet it's going to sound even better when Coleman clips it out for future use.
Yeah, right. I know. It just insert something involving a one wood there and you're done. All right, pretty much. But no, I mean, I've only played a little bit. What I have played, am really, really enjoying. I'm not yet sure if it's worth the 50 quid that it's asking for. I would probably recommend holding out till you can find it for 30 from what I played at the moment, but I shall report back next week with new interesting findings.
But it's a Nintendo game, so it's not going down.
It's a first-party Nintendo game, so it never gets reduced in price, which is an issue. But a
physical copy you might be able to pick up a couple of months hence.
Maybe. A lot of the reviews I've been checking out, because there are some very positive ones, but there are also very negative ones, which kind of, and between them, they're kind of aping what you're saying. It's a decent game, but there's not a lot there at the moment, but they are promising to patch in all this cool stuff, because they were showing like the New Donk City courses and all that kind of stuff. And it looks good. but I want that stuff now.
Yeah.
Don't advertise it to me before the games come out and go, and by the way, here's stuff we're going to add later. Just release it when it's all done, and then afterwards you can start going, okay, we're going to add more stuff. Don't do it pre-release. It's really weird.
But Tim, I think there's I was going to say, in terms of multiplayer, is there's kind of online, and I just sort of mentioned because I know something you're particularly keen on, Tim, is there's actually kind of couch play as well. So, and you can I haven't tried it yet, but you can use your motion controllers to pretend you're a real golf person. I would do it, but I've slightly injured my shoulder. So, nothing to do with Mario Golf. This was an extreme sleeping injury. So,
I've heard the motion controls are very underwhelming when you compare them to like Wii Golf back in the day.
Yeah. But anyway, I mean, I have liked it. But Tim, you were about to say something before I rudely interrupted you.
It was something related to what we were talking about. I can't remember exactly what it was now.
Golf. We were talking about golf, mate.
Not entirely point. But yeah, overall, though, what I was going to say is the one thing I've heard from reviews is that the battle mode that they've put in is a bit weird and a bit wonky in single player.
I haven't really delved into that yet. I've just been trying to find my feet. So
adding that in, and then the like rush system seems a bit weird when you're running around a large golf course and you've got all these things for like hitting people that aren't anywhere near you and stuff like that. And yeah, it just sounds like to me like what I didn't like about their previous tennis game. Like, they didn't just make a tennis game and kind of base a good thing around that. Like, the one thing I was going to say before actually was perhaps we need to be a bit more forgiving of overall content in current pandemic kind of situations. Like, I can understand them getting a bit of the game out and adding more courses, and I don't know if we need to be more forgiving of that not in the current climate. But generally, yeah, it just seems like, I don't know, they've added things that don't interest me. Like, they've added a race bit between the boring bits of taking your shot. Like, I mean, I didn't need them to do that type of thing. What I would have liked them to have done is taken a leaf out of something like Golf Story and have, like, a proper adventure mode where you're going around as Mario or whatever character you are, doing all these different tasks for different people in the Mushroom
But instead it's relegated
like
to the Mii's.
Yeah, then just have the Mii's available in the other modes and not have them in the adventure mode or whatever. But I don't know.
It looks like as well, because I think it's the same developer as Mario Tennis Aces, and the issue, the big complaint with that game is this is a series that has existed and they've done weird and wacky things with it. What they seem to have done this time is gone bog standard sports game with these characters and then added a little bit on there, and it's not as crazy as the older games are. I mean, Mario Golf had a full RPG mode on the Game Boy Advance, I think, and then on this version, it's just really muted down compared to what previous games had to offer.
Yeah, and it is literally like, hey, I hear you like hitting golf balls. You should go to the driving range and hit some golf balls. That's the best. But, I mean, I think you can tell that this isn't done by in-house Nintendo. I think it does... It's kind of got all the component parts there, but somehow lacks just a little bit of the charm and a little bit of the polish. But look, I'll play it a bit more. I'll give Battle Mode a go. Report back next week.
Okay. You mentioned the online. I think the multiplayer. I think the couch co-op is 2-player only, and the online is 4-player.
Yeah, that's correct.
So just to let you know that restriction as well. But yeah, I've been looking. I've been trying to. I'm an hour whether I'm buying this thing because. I don't know, games are expensive now, so I'm very, very picky about what I'm picking up these days. Like, I want Ratchet and Clank, but I have too many games at the moment that I can hold off paying 70 quid for that and 50 quid for this, and, so.
I mean, it's fair enough. I mean, I would probably wait to see what their DLC plans are. And if there's going to be a bunch of extra stuff added for free, then probably it starts making sense. But if everything is locked behind paid DLC, then... Yeah,
then I'm less interested,
that might not be such a great value proposition.
I think it's meant to, if I remember rightly from the Treehouse stuff at E3, it's meant to be free updates for all the courses and stuff.
Okay. Here's hoping. But talking of free updates, Gears 5, not on Nintendo Switch, on Xbox Series X. I tell you, I've been really enjoying playing games on the console. I do still like playing games on the PC, but there is just something nice about not being behind a flipping keyboard. There's just something very nice about it.
I've been telling you for years, Dan.
I know,
Doesn't feel like work.
Doesn't feel so much like work anyway. So yeah, Gears 5, because I heard that it had a bit of... Last time I played it was... I played a little bit. Did I play it on Xbox One? I can't remember. But I have played it on PC, and now I've played it on Series X. And actually, the Series X implementation's got even more bells and whistles than the PC redo. And I've I've only ever kind of got about 2 acts into Gears 5, so I'm quite enjoying playing through it from the beginning again. Looks great on Series X, really, really does. Even like some not hardware ray tracing, but some software ray tracing, which really kind of makes the game pop. Yeah, been enjoying it. I'm completely confused what the heck is going on.
I have a question.
Yes.
Yeah.
Are you with the update? Are you playing as Batista?
No, not yet.
Because you can replace the main character with Dave Batista now.
Well, no, you can. No, it's replacing.
Oh, it's Phoenix, isn't it? Marcus Phoenix.
Marcus,
yes.
but you're JD Phoenix.
Right. Okay. So
Jack Daniels Phoenix.
His very own crotch goblin. You are playing as him.
Product of the scene.
But no, I'm nothing really new. I mean, there's also the Hivebusters DLC, which I will play through as well. But
that's multiplayer, isn't it?
I believe so, as is main Gears.
I'd be up for some multiplayer Gears. I haven't played that for years.
If only we had friends that were here with Xboxes and Game Pass ready to go.
Why? Come on, are we not doing Sea of Thieves because you're playing PlayStation at the moment?
No, we can do Sea of Thieves.
I want to do Sea of Thieves.
Well, no, the last time you asked me, I was at work.
Oh.
You went, let's play Sea of Thieves. And I went, yeah, I'm working. And you went, no problem. We'll do it about 5 or 6 or 7 or something like that. I finished work at 10.
Oh, okay. All right, fair enough. I forget you have weird hours.
Yeah, I get stuck in the office sometimes.
Have you tried opening the door?
Yeah.
Is it like an escape room situation where if you can work it out, they'll let you out?
That's exactly that.
Excellent.
Escape Room 2 coming to cinemas soon.
Anyway, that's all I've played. Tim, I'm assuming you've had an Evercade in your hands again.
I have indeed. Maybe the last time I speak about it for a little bit, because this is the last of the 3 games that came in the the premium pack, basically. That was the one that had 3 games packed in that I've been speaking about previously. Just for declaration and saying up front, I was sent a unit and the games for review. So take that with a pinch of salt. If you like
Danny Dyer.
If you want to accuse me of being a liar for the sum of not very much money. But anyway, right.
I
must say, you saying that they sent you a unit makes it sound like Danny Dyer was involved. Oh, I sent him a unit. Send him a unit.
But anyway, so this week is the last one of the 3 is the Interplay Collection Volume 1.
I am aware of their work.
Yes, and it's got less games than the other collections, but they're all kind of, most of them are 16-bit games and a couple of them are 8-bit games, basically. And
these are more your Mega Drive SNES era.
Yeah, and I'm guessing that's where they're from, but they don't actually say where they're from, and I'm not actually sure where they're from. One of them was Battle Chess.
Yeah, Battle Chess.
Yeah, they're both 88, so is that even pre-Mega Drive?
That's pre-SNES, that's NES. That's NES and that's NES Master System vintage.
But also, I mean, I don't know what the port version of this game is, but this was on Amiga and PC and loads of different systems. I used to play this on Amiga and got one day some fond nostalgia for it and booted it up on there's in-browser emulators for Amiga. This game was so slow because every time you take a move, then it hits a loading screen, then it loads up the battle animation, then it's a loading screen, then it's back to the chessboard. It
Not
takes
just
so
that,
long.
If you're moving a knight, then it has a little animation for the person that moves out the way when they go through them as well, just to slow them down a little bit more. And
I insist. After you. No. After you. No, after you.
I think it was on multiple discs as well, so you'd have to swap them in between.
Oh my God.
I mean, because just looking at the screenshot on Evercade, this must be like the Amstrad or C64 version, surely.
As I said, I'm not sure. It's definitely 8-bit, but it's one of those things where you can... with like the benefit of nostalgia and hindsight kind of thing, you can go back and go, right, I can understand how that was visually impressive at the time, but like Coleman says, at the moment, it just slows down the game of chess to an absolute crawl and doesn't make it that enjoyable. I don't think you get enough in return for what it's doing. Like the little animations and stuff, as he says, it loads up and like say you've got like a rook going after a pawn or whatever, it'll load the animation of those two little characters, kind of wisps them away and then kind of loads the animation, and then it's the same animation every time of how they kill them, and it does vary between units and different things, and yeah, your kind of rooks look like big castle monster things, and there's different things going on.
That's because that's what rooks are.
Yeah, but they're the big like rock monsters that kind of look like in a form of a castle, and they'll change and they'll eat people and stuff like that. And the queen will yelp if she's being eaten and stuff like that. And yeah, it's just all Anyway, that's fine. But yeah, it's just a bit too dated, and it slows the pace of the game down too much to make it massively enjoyable. It's kind of nice seeing an old game like that, but yeah, it doesn't play that well. The one I was actually more impressed with was from the same time period, another 8-bit game and one puzzle game I hadn't played before. It's not the world's best game, but it was just like, oh, okay, this is a little puzzle game I hadn't heard of before. That a decent little puzzle game. It's a game called Titan, and yeah, I never came across it. Not sure where it's from. As you say, 8-bit era, so maybe Master System and stuff like that. Maybe even arcades. I'm not sure in this case. But most of the Interplay games I always remember associating with consoles. But I think that's because I associated their later games with the SNES so much, basically. But yeah, anyway, Titan is a kind of puzzle game where you've got like a little square and you're knocking into a ball, but in a sort of defined area. So the first level is literally you just knocking something round, and it's almost like a breakout, but where you're not kind of on one side and facing a wall, but in the whole environment and trying to get to things within that environment. And there might be objects or things in the way to make that, to be obstructions to make that more difficult, basically. And yeah, like, it's a decent little puzzle game. I found myself playing it for a bit and just kind of bobbling through the levels, and like one level's quite different to the next, so it feels like you're solving a different puzzle every time, but using the core mechanics of just bouncing a square into a bouncing ball that bounces around the environment and that you have to get to hit certain squares a certain number of times, basically.
Ah, the old classic bouncy square, bouncy ball game.
Bouncy square, bouncy ball. But yeah, as I said, it was like, simple, not the world's most entertaining game, but something that I could happily play for a few hours and just kind of while away a bit of time playing on it, and doesn't suffer as much from being an old game on a new system in terms of, it still plays fine kind of thing.
Right.
The one thing I would say is the physics feel a little bit squiffy, like things don't bounce at exactly the right angle, and like momentum doesn't necessarily carry in the right way and all those type of things. But it seems fairly consistent, so you can like mess with things in the same way. Like if you want the ball to travel in a different direction, you can just kind of go over it and it kind of knocks it in the opposite direction of which it came and stuff like that. And it just, little things that don't quite make sense, but it's perfectly playable sort of thing. But yeah. And yeah, most of the other ones I can do in one kind of go, almost one kind of go. There's two sides.
No, now we're hitting the main ones. This is what we want to know about.
There's the main games on there, and the main ones that everyone will know Interplay for are Clay Fighter and Earthworm Jim, and that's where I'll send some attention. Clay Fighter is one of those games that I don't know. Like I seem to remember it getting like a good or reasonable critical reception, as in it reviewed reasonably well. But then I remember people like panning it a bit more when it came out. Like, I don't think it quite lived up to the review hype that
I remember it being hot garbage.
It was a bad. What I remember rightly is it was a bad game, but there was a lot of hype for this. Like, I was in junior school when this came out, so there was a lot of hype for this between me and my friends. Like, look at the amazing graphics! It looks like real.
Did you all say it in that radio? Thought, look at the amazing graphics.
And maybe it was just that. Maybe that everyone got hyped for the graphics, and
that's how Gosport kids talk, by the way.
Yeah.
Everybody speaks like this. Oh my God! Have you seen the graphics on that game? I may be only 8, but that is a tasty peanut butter sandwich I just had.
Did you watch Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles last night on the television?
But as the
I
name...
told you my dad works for Nintendo and I can tell you exactly what's coming out. I've already got a copy of Super Mario Brothers 5.
All right,
as
sorry.
the name
Clay
Fighter suggests, it's got kind of claymation style animation of its characters. And I think that was,
style animation.
Yeah, that was
excellent.
Well, that's a perfectly good thing. Anyway, yeah. But yeah, like that's something that, as you say, may have just been that they got overly hyped over the graphical thing, and like, it's one of those things. Possibly it looks better in stills than it does in motion as well. I'm not sure.
Well, I think it looks better when you play this on a console in the 90s on a CRT television as composed instead of on an LCD screen or something, because these were proper claymation characters that were done in frames and photographed and rotoscoped like a Mortal Kombat game. Or even, what was the other one? There was an arcade game that did it really well. Rampage? No, not Rampage.
It
was a dinosaur.
The Rampage one wasn't that the one with the dinosaurs?
Yeah, there was a dinosaurs fighting game. There was like 3 of them. Primal Instinct?
Primal
Rage?
Primal Rage. Primal Rage. I think you had it.
Yeah.
Primal Scream's a band. It was a similar style to that, but it was done for a home console, so it's very kind of blown out pixels and stuff when you play it on a modern version. But it looked
so
impressive
what
at the
you're
time.
saying is don't play it on a 55-inch LCD, basically, or OLED.
Yeah,
but
pretty much.
I mean, first world problems, but man's got a point.
To be fair, it looked okay. This is one I actually did boot up and play on my TV, and it's not the graphical powerhouse it once was, and I'm never sure it was. But yeah, I don't know. I was expecting this game to be as bad as I remembered it, and it's not going to hold up well next to Street Fighter. It's not. It doesn't. But that was a high point of the SNES throughout its life. I think they upgraded it to what was it? Was it Street Fighter Turbo, the subsequent one, or Champion Edition? I think
Championship Edition was the Mega Drive. Turbo was the
they got Super Street Fighter.
There was there's Super Street Fighter. There's Hyper Edition. There's Championship Edition. I can't keep track.
And then all the cracked arcades editions. But anyway, but it doesn't quite hold up to that, and there were other probably better fighting games around at the time, but it's not the world's worst fighting game. I've definitely played worse since. It was decent, and I had a decent time with it, and it was kind of fun going back and playing with the characters that I remember, like Mr. Frosty, I think it is. It's probably not Mr. Frosty, but it looks like Mr. Frosty. And the killer clown guy that was in it as well. And just characters that I remember more from seeing screenshots in magazines than I actually do from playing the game back in the day. Although I think I did play it back in the day at some point. But
I used to like playing as the Taffy guy. Even though I didn't know what Taffy was because we're British.
Yes.
I mean, I have to say that this very much falls under one of the things I always think, which is kind of the games you played when you were younger, leave them there, because when you go and replay them, 9 times out of 10, they're not as good as you remember.
I'm going to prove that wrong when we finish this.
Yeah,
really?
That's not always the case. I've definitely found that not to be the case.
I've given myself some wiggle room there.
Yep.
Depends on the game, depends on the system.
But specifically the ones where you thought, my God, graphics could never, ever get better than this.
Yes, okay, that's a point.
All right.
But then, as I was about to go on to, Earthworm Jim, still looks impressive today. It still looks nice. It still looks like a good, tight animation style. I don't know if it's just something where we've seen a resurgence of games that look a bit and play a bit like Earthworm Jim, but it still has really nice animation and really good funny little animated bits of the character that they've added in, and just reactions and stuff like that. It's just a really fun, silly game to play. I think I enjoyed playing Earthworm Jim more in the last couple of weeks than I did when I played it originally, because I wasn't a massive fan of platformers back then and possibly didn't appreciate it for what it was. That's been all right. And I would say that most people know what you're getting into with Earthworm Jim just because that's something you've come across a bit more often. But then the other game that's in the collection as well is a game called Boogerman, which I remember not getting a very good reaction when it came out at the time. And yeah, it's literally it's Earthworm Jim without the charm and with a lot of toilet humour, basically.
That sounds great. Where do I sign up?
It's very 90s.
Literally, you are like picking up plungers and going down toilets, like rather than going down.
There's
like,
a lot
pipes
worse than
in Mario.
snot down there, to be fair.
And I think you belch at people you belch at them to kind of attack them, or you can throw snot at them and stuff. And yeah, like functionally it's okay, but the toilet humour side of things did nothing for me.
Game.
And yeah, it's all right. As I said, like it's a platformer that doesn't have any redeeming features for me, though. So that's not
Mate,
good
I'm telling you, 90s child Coleman playing this on the Mega Drive, this game was cracking. Games will never get as funny as this when I was a child.
Yeah. Wow.
And the last one.
That said, I see why the Kickstarter for a sequel failed.
Well, yeah. But the last one rounding out the collection is a game that I hadn't actually come across before, Incantation. It's a kind of action platformer type thing where you're taking the place of a little diminutive wizard who can just fire spells out and stuff. And you pick up different spells as you go. And that's actually, like, for a little 16-bit game, it looks like it would have been like quite graphically impressive back then. It still holds up reasonably well now. It reminds me of the style of a lot of like more Japanese style arcade games, and a bit like Alex Kidd as well, which we're going to talk about later as well. It's very much in that it's a scrolling left to right action platformer type thing. I'm not sure. I'm guessing from the age of this was possibly Interplay's last game, and maybe the thing that took down the company was, one thing too far. I don't know, but it seemed to take them 3 years to develop this after their last game, and yeah, I'm not sure why it wasn't as successful. It's possibly not the best game in the world, but yeah, it still holds up reasonably well and was more playable than Boogerman for me as well, basically. So yeah,
sounds like a lot of things, were they?
I mean, yes, but yeah, I mean, I would put this more on par with Earthworm Jim than Boogerman. It was as enjoyable to play as Earthworm Jim was for me, basically. So yeah, that was a discovery, and playing a game without the nostalgia that I've had for the other ones that I was playing as well, because most of those other ones I've played before, apart from the Titan one, which I mentioned basically. But yeah. I mean, it's I don't know, it's a different value proposition, but I think this is a slightly lower price one, even though it's got less games on it and stuff. But yeah, it's a harder recommendation unless you have some affinity for Earthworm Jim and Clayfire, I'd say, which are the main selling points of the package. But that's not to say that there isn't other enjoyable hours of play on the rest of the games in the cartridge, with possible exception of Boogerman and Battle Chess. But yeah, but they were okay to play for a bit.
They haven't picked the best version of Battle Chess, really.
I mean, I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure there's a best version of Battle Chess. I'm just saying.
Snap, son. Shots fired.
Tim, I'm going to blow your mind. Not only was that not Interplay's last game, but they're still going.
Yeah, they
really?
released a game. They released a game in 2021. Well, they're due to release a game in 2021. I did not know that was the
case. In fact, this being Volume 1 should have given me a clue that there's more games to come, basically. But I don't remember them post-SNES days. Is that... did they go differently with their development?
Well, N64, there was Clay Fighter, the Sculptor's Cup.
Right, okay, yep.
What I was trying to say is they used to be Interplay Productions back in 98, and then post then they're Interplay Entertainment, and they're more like a publishing studio now.
Right.
So currently, I think this year there's a re-release of Kingpin coming out that they're publishing, and also Baldur's Gate: A Dark Alliance is meant to be published by them as well, along with 3D Realms.
But they're publishing rather than developing any games at the moment.
They've got studios under their banner rather than they're making stuff in-house by the looks of it. Okay. But they still exist.
Okay. Good
Craziness.
to know.
Craziness.
This is good.
Right, I'm going to tell you why not only are games that you played there are games that as you played let's try that again. Not only are there games that you played as a child that are just as good as an adult, but there are ones that can be improved with remasters as well, and this is a good case for how to do a remaster. Because I have been playing Alex Kidd in Miracle World DX.
Right.
I don't know if either of you two have a fondness for Alex Kidd as a child at all.
I remember playing it around a mate's house when I was but a wee nipper of a lad, and I remember it being on one of the Sega cards rather than a cartridge.
Ooh.
Because my friend was evidently fancy. There we go.
If you had the Master System 2, then
it was
had
built
a cool
in,
little. It had a cool little feature. If you didn't put a cartridge in and switch the console on, it would play a game that was built into the console.
That was right.
For early adopters, it was Alex Kidd in Miracle World, and then from that point on, it was Sonic the Hedgehog, I think. And I think in America, it was just Sonic the Hedgehog. I had cartridge versions of this game that I'd imported from the US because they played on all versions of the console, because for some reason this cartridge sells for a lot of money in the UK, even if you import them from the US. So I used to buy them. Yes, I used to buy them from the US, very cheap, import them, and then sell them back on in the UK. So there you go. There's a little
bloody scalpers.
Literally. So yes, I've got a big fondness for Alex Kidd in Miracle World. There was a re-release of this on the 360 quite a while ago, which they did update for the Xbox One and the Xbox Series S and X. So I do continually go back to that. Now they've made this version. They've completely gone in and redone all the visuals, added a little bit of a story to the game, which initially was reserved for the instruction booklet for you to read to see what the story was. Now it's actually in the game. There's little NPCs you can find and talk to and stuff. So all that's been added, but it also has the ability to switch between the modern version and the classic version.
Oh, nice.
That's always nice.
But this works probably the best way I've seen it done so far. So when you play in the modern version, it has improved controls and stuff that makes it feel like a more modern platformer. When you stick it back into the original mode, even though all the stuff they've added in, they've also made kind of like a Mario Maker type thing where they'll take the modern day sprites and turn them into the older ones so it fits in the older game. But they've also made it like a widescreen game title as well. But then as well, when you switch to the classic version of the game, it keeps the old physics in place. So you get the old moon jump physics, jump a little bit higher and stuff. So there's a point like early on in the game, like in the very first level, where there's some blocks you need to smash to find some coins. And once you smash the blocks, I couldn't quite get the jump right in the newer version. So I switched it to the older one and then made the jump and then switched back again to the improved version. And it works really well for stuff like that. This is probably one of my favorite type of remakes I've ever played. It's done so well. There's so much love and attention done for this. It even takes the localization into account and it's only a silly little thing in this game, but when you used to pause or switch to another progress to another level, it would show a little sprite of Alex Kidd. In the UK, he would be eating a hamburger. In Japan and the US, he would be eating nigiri. And then in, I think, like Spanish versions and Brazilian versions and stuff, he was eating fish and chips, which is weird why we didn't get that sprite.
Yeah, why did we get fish and chips?
And why didn't America get the hamburger?
I don't know, but it's so really weird, but you can go into the menus and like customize that stuff to have him eat.
Oh, that's pretty cool, actually.
That is quite cool. I have a question, Mr. Coleman.
Yep, okay.
Was this done by the same developers that did the Monster Boy remakes? I don't know why I had that in my head that might be the case, but
I think so. This was done by Merge. Are they Merge Games? Yes, sorry, Merge Games.
Does someone want to double check that? But yeah, just because they were apparently really good remakes and had similar sort of ideas and taken from them, and I don't know why if that is the case, but it sounds like done to a similar kind of level of care with the original, but making it not like modernizing it in some ways, but also seemingly giving reverence to the original and not over developing it.
Not Monster Boy, but they did do Monster Harvest, I think.
Okay. Not the same thing.
Not Monster Boy.
Not the same devs, but hey.
No. But
Okay.
it's done with... This is the most love I've seen put into a remake without completely changing the title as well. But the improvements work really well. The classic mode works really, really well. I'm super happy with this game. Like all the remixed musical levels and stuff. There's another really cool thing. It's like all the backgrounds in the games are just like blue, dark blue for underwater, light blue for sky, red for lava, that kind of stuff. And then they've fully improved the levels, so it's like, well, this one we're going to have a village setting with rainfall and thunderclouds and stuff. The detail is absolutely brilliant in this game. And as well, when they initially announced this, I thought they were going for a cartoon aesthetic, and they seem to have gone for more like a 32-bit aesthetic and all pixelated, and it looks, again, it's an amazing game. I would urge anyone to pick this title up. I think it's either 15 or 19 pounds.
Okay.
But it does seem to be available on all the consoles. So I've got an Xbox Series S version of this. As I mentioned last week, the load times seem to be instantaneous. It's like I'm playing this on a cartridge again. It's just, I'm
good
super
fit
happy
for
with
the
it.
Switch, even though you got it on the Xbox S?
I would assume so, because it doesn't seem to be like it'd be too taxing for the Switch. But yeah, I'd say this would be available, a good one for on the go. This was more a case of, for ease of capture and, playing up my desk and stuff, I like to get things on, and I hadn't had the PlayStation 5 in yet, so the Xbox seemed like a decent fit to get this on. But yeah, I definitely recommend picking this one up. If you have never played the game before, then the modern version is a perfect way to play this for the first time, and it fits in beautifully with all the other types of platformers, the modern platforms with retro aesthetics. This is one of those ones that would fit there. If you have played the game and you're a big fan of it, then definitely get this one, because the love and attention that have been put into it is amazing. There's new improved boss fights and stuff in it. The rock, paper, scissors, is it Jan-Ken-Pon? I forget what they call it in Japan, but
okay, yeah.
All the boss fights are basically rock, paper, scissors fights.
Nice.
They've improved that as well. So the visual, like, it goes to a whole new like battle arena screen type thing for it to do it, and little audience chanting along. It's really good. But yes, definitely worth picking up, especially for the price.
Yeah. Well, I have to say it was one of those games that, since I was a Nintendo lad, really, that I never really got into. Like I said, I can remember playing it around a mate's house. But my overriding memory is like, man, that guy's got a big hand. Big
hand, big head, big ears.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
See, this
So
game
anyway,
just makes me think of Master Systems, and particularly the Master System box art with the blue and white lines on them, kind of thing.
Grid.
Yeah.
I remember, because there's a few different Alex Kidd titles. Shinobi World comes to mind, and they're all rubbish. The Miracle World's the only decent one.
The only one that's worth playing. Okay.
But this was meant to be Sega's mascot before they went for Sonic. So
right,
keep that in mind
was
as well.
right, wasn't it?
But also
Didn't
the title
live up
is,
to it.
well, the title was initially meant to be a Dragon Ball Z title, which got cancelled, repurposed into this mascot platformer, and then Sega went, we need a mascot, we'll have that one. He's not doing well. Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah.
Quick, fast, someone get Sonic.
Yes, would you like some news?
Oh, yes, please.
Cool. So we're going to run through this one pretty damn quick, because the first one, this seems to be ongoing, but Sony announced that they have purchased the developer Housemarque, which is a very good idea, I think.
I have a question.
Yes.
Are Microsoft and Sony just trying to buy all of the studios so that everything's now first-party exclusive?
Yes.
Excellent.
And
good. Lovely.
EA are also doing that until someone eventually buys EA. That's like the main goal.
How does Bobby Kotick in Activision fit into all of this? Or is he just there stroking his private parts with $20 bills still?
Yeah,
he just gets
the devil
loads of
incarnate.
20? Do you think he's a peasant?
Only because they're disposable to him,
Dan,
I would imagine. $20.
It's all about the Benjamins, baby.
Is it all about
any
all about
money
the
is disposable
Benjamins?
to him.
Correct.
All
but
money.
yes, Housemarque, they've made loads of titles in the past. They do very kind of arcadey type titles, and then at some point went, hey, no one's buying our games, even though they seem to get critical praise, so we're going to stop doing this and make more kind of mainstream titles. Started working on a battle royale, cancelled that and then went, okay,
Right.
we're going to make somewhere in
So
between
hang
in
on,
our...
their plan was to go. Right, okay, no, carry on.
Well, because Battle
Nobody
Royale was
tell them that
the
their games may do better on Game Pass. Just
Yeah,
saying.
all right.
Well, Battle Royale
Well.
was kind of the big thing at the time, and then by the time they put that into motion, it was already falling out of favour, so they went, probably not a good idea.
Pull the plug.
Instead, if I got this right, they approached Sony to go, hey, we're working on something new, and we've worked with you in the past with titles for PlayStation Plus, so Returnal got pitched, paid for by PlayStation, did very well critically, enough for PlayStation to go, okay, we're going to buy this studio. So now they own Housemarque. Housemarque is part of PlayStation Studios. So you're going to see that cool intro package on all of their games in the future. Also, before the when the announcement happened, the Twitter account for PlayStation, they used an image which the welcome to Housemarque game, welcome Housemarque games to PlayStation Studios, but they used the wrong image and it said welcome to PlayStation Studios Bluepoint Games, which have led many people to go, have Sony just bought Bluepoint and they haven't announced it properly and have accidentally leaked it themselves. So
Good
that
work.
might have happened. If you don't know, Bluepoint Studios, the most recent title was Demon's Souls, but they also worked on the Shadow of the Colossus remake as well. And
Well, it'd make a lot of sense, wouldn't it?
Yeah, and the
Yeah.
Nathan Drake collection on the PS4. So they seem to work a lot with Sony lately, so it makes a lot of sense. And then today, just before we started recording, they announced the purchase of Nixes, which is a Dutch studio, and immediately everyone started Googling who are Nixes. They seem to work mainly on PC ports of existing titles, and they've done a lot of work with Square Enix from what I can see. They worked on the ports for Deus Ex, Tomb Raider, more recently Avengers. So yeah, I assume if they're taking on Bluepoint and Nixes, then there's some port things in idea. Plus, PlayStation seem to be focusing a bit on bringing their titles to PC lately, so that would fully make sense to do that, to get a main developer.
Well, especially with Bluepoint, whose expertise is converting things from one platform to another. I mean, if you look at their kind of their past, the kind of what they've got in the trophy cabinet, so to speak. I mean, so Demon's Souls remastered for PS5, Shadow of the Colossus already mentioned, Gravity Rush remastered, bringing it from the Vita to the PlayStation. Great game, Gravity Rush, by the way. They even ported Titanfall to the Xbox 360. Who knew?
Really, really good port of that game. I don't know if either of you tried that.
I must admit, I haven't.
Can't remember. I probably played it on Xbox One, I'm guessing. But
Yeah, I played Xbox One.
I didn't have an Xbox One, and I got sent a copy of that for review on my old show, and was very impressed with the port on 360. So, but yeah, they seem to have focused more on actually remaking titles rather than porting them now, whereas Nixes are more like a port studio. So those two on PlayStation brand, it seems like a decent fit. The other thing is the ESRB, they put up information for a Ghost of Tsushima director's cut, which had been filed for both PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. We were going to be talking about this and speculating and all that kind of stuff, but then half an hour before we started recording, Sony went, by the way, Ghost of Tsushima director's cut, announced it for both PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. It will have new PS5 specific enhancements, plus a new Ike Silent expansion. That's coming out on the 20th of August.
I think it was Ike Island, I think.
Ike Silent.
I have mistyped in the agenda.
Ike Silent. I like Ike Silent.
Ike Silent.
Ike Silent.
Good thing Mum's gone to Silent.
IKEA Island it is.
IKEA Island.
And lastly, this one. So this is more.
I was going to say, just because I don't know if you read into the details of that one, but just anyone with the existing game can pay for an expansion for, I think they said $10. The prices were in dollars.
Yeah, that's what they did with,
as of
Final
August
Fantasy.
the 20th. It doesn't look like you can pre-order the upgrade though, basically, but.
So that's what they did with Final Fantasy for the PS5 version, and I'm wondering if they're going to do what they did with Final Fantasy, where they went, hey, PlayStation Plus, like the month before doing this, you can have a copy of Ghost of Tsushima just for PS4 without the upgrade. So that would make sense, and that would be cool for PS4 owners.
Yeah, and the The I was just going to say on that note as well, the PS4 to this version upgrade, if you want to do the regular PS4 version to this upgrade, they were talking about that upgrade being $30 as well, basically. So
Right.
Okay.
I see. And then lastly, this one's kind of stoking the fan flames again, but Konami have announced a partnership with Bloober Team, and this one's been long rumoured for a good couple of months now. If you don't know Bloober Team, they did the Blair Witch title, Observer, which seems to be getting like its 4 free release, and also the Medium. The Medium, which came out on Xbox. It was like the Xbox platform exclusive, and now it's coming to PS5.
Okay.
But them
Wasn't a
working
great
with Konami,
game. Wasn't brilliant Medium, I have to say.
It wasn't great. But working with Konami makes sense because they have a specific horror game that's been missing in action for a while. Bloober Team seemed to work more on horror titles, and with the Medium, it wasn't great, but the idea of it was meant to be more of a type of old school PS1 fixed camera angles and stuff like a Resident Evil or the other type of title. The name escapes my mind. But on a similar note, there were rumors flying a while ago that Konami are actually looking at outside studios to bring Silent Hill 2 for someone else to develop specific projects for that. That's been rumored for a while. The Bloober thing came afterwards. And then also Akira Yamaoka. He is the main composer behind the Silent Hill series, who has also worked with Bloober Team in the past. He tweeted previously saying that there is a new project coming up in the summer, and you're going to want to hear about it. And now everyone's put all that together and go, Bloober Team are definitely working on Silent Hill.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's it. Sounds like the only really sensible conclusion one could come to.
And you said rumoured about reaching out to external studios. Well, they don't really have a choice anymore, no, do they? Do they have many internal studios left apart from the people cranking out PES every year?
Yeah, I think it's just PES guys and guys that make pachinko software. And because I don't know if you've seen pachinko games these days, but they're very impressive.
They're a bit
looking.
fancy.
I mean, the one they've got on the wall is amazing.
Do they have any pachinko machines with Danny Dyer in Japan? Because if they don't, they're missing out. That's all I'm saying.
I reckon Danny Dyer will go down a storm in Japan.
I'm not sure. I think he'd be a bit too abrasive.
They like it.
Listen up, you Japanese mugs. Massive pachinko in it.
Get your chops right there. Look at that, Pepper. Look at that, mother. Right there. Pachinko. Bosh.
Pachinko. Yeah, I think that would work. Silent Hill. We haven't had a Silent Hill game.
In pachinko.
I think the last Silent Hill game we had was Shattered Memories or Downpour or something. It was one of the Vita games.
Or PT, whatever it was. PT?
Well, PT wasn't Silent Hill. That was a teaser for Silent Hills, which was then cancelled. But they were, I think, one's 2012 and one's 2014. So we haven't had anything since then, since the whole Kojima was meant to lead one and that mess.
Oh my God, Metal Gear.
Yeah. But yeah, seriously, look into the pachinko stuff. They literally made HD assets of Snake Eater, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, there's a new Snake Eater game coming!" And it turned out it was for a pachinko machine screen. Madness. Mobile titles as well. They worked on a lot of mobile titles.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's all the news we got this week.
Yeah, it is. Which kind of brings us to the end of the show, really. I feel like we haven't done listener questions. Shall we have a listener question or two for a change?
Let's get one out the way. Let's get an Ed one because we got a few.
Okay, pick one.
I've seen one that I was going to go with. Should I do that?
All right, yeah, go for it, Tim.
Which douchey characters would you love to see get a sequel where they're grown up, more mature, and constantly wincing at their past behaviour? Sonic with a moustache sighing at all of his awful quips to Dr. Eggman, who is equally embarrassed he changed his name by deed poll. Any characters that do you think would look funny going? I'd quite like to see Mario and Luigi in the retirement home still winding each other up and having a go about, the time that, they didn't do stuff properly and didn't get on with the plumbing. And that would have been, Mario and Luigi in a retirement home with a long line of their plumbing customers lined up going, where the hell have you been, been? It's been like 40 years and you haven't fixed my plumbing.
It's all full of mushrooms.
Yep. What's
It's not going
this?
to do that.
Rising bloody damp, mate. Sort it out.
I would say the similar to what you said, but the DMC version of Dante from
Right,
Devil
yes.
May Cry.
Oh, yes.
The black-haired emo Dante, but it's modern day, and he's got to atone for all the sexist and horrible things that he said. Maybe he had a Twitter, and it's now caught up with him. All his deleted tweets have been saved in Time Machine or Wayback Machine or something, and it's all coming back to bite him in the ass. Cancelled Dante, I think.
2 words.
Yep.
Duke Nukem.
Okay.
Similar
Yes.
situation.
Good pick.
Just because Duke Nukem.
Coleman made me think of Lollipop Chainsaw as well as a game that could do with growing up a little bit.
Yeah. Yes.
Don't get me wrong, I like those games.
Yeah, they're all good games, but they're
think
really
it's a funny
immature and
scenario.
don't do good for our medium perception of, being a good thing.
You mean, what's wrong with a bit of ripping someone's head off and then doing a poo down their neck?
I really like the idea of Duke Nukem getting cancelled, but he's like, I don't get cancelled, baby. My game comes out after 14 years of development. He just doesn't understand what cancel culture is.
God. I wonder how many... No, let's not pick at that. Let's not...
Yeah.
I'm not going to pick at that. I'm not going to pick at that.
That could go very wrong very quickly.
Yep.
Hail
Yeah,
to the
good
chief,
question,
baby.
Ed. Good question, Ed. Do you think that's Donald Trump's internal monologue is Duke Nukem?
What, hell to the chief?
Yeah.
Probably.
Yep. Anyway. Right, Tim, Gosh. Any updates for Gosh other than please do stuff for them?
No major updates, but yeah, you can still continue to raise money for Great Ormond Street Hospital just by streaming some games or just by sponsoring someone that is. More details on Gosh's website. Search gosh.org and go to gosh.org and search for Geek Out for Gosh with the number 4. And you can also search out Geek Out for Gosh on social media channels, Twitter, Facebook, etc. I don't know. Etc. It's definitely on Facebook and
No, let's
Twitter,
let's not juxtapose Duke Nukem and Great Ormond Street, shall we?
Yeah.
Geek Out for Gosh. Supporting the great work at Great Ormond Street Hospital, baby.
No.
Get yourself a shirt from Special Effect.
Oh my God.
That's not...
If you start doing that,
what?
I'm going to start impersonating
Metal Gear,
You said
baby.
nonsense.
Oh my
You meant
God.
insert coin.
Is that
That's
a
what I
shirt
meant.
from Insert Coin?
As
Metal
Coleman and
Gear.
Duke Nukem alluded to there.
I think you'll
do
find it
raise
as John St. John.
£250 for Great Ormond Street, you can get an exclusive insert coin Great Ormond Street t-shirt and pin. So yeah, it's a good
T-shirt
thing to
and a pin,
try and
baby.
get yourself
Oh,
ones.
don't. What have we done? Right, I think we should go before Coleman
Yes.
comes up with anything else. But not before I remind you that you should go to www.BigRedBarel.com and you should click on the link therein to come say hello to us on our Discord, because we like people to come say hello to us on our Discord. We're doing all right in Discord. People
Good.
come along, they have chats, they have fun times. I sometimes send pictures of various famous Garys to make people enter the same fire team chat room as me and Destiny. The fun we have.
I can think
There are
of one
some
you shouldn't
Garys
send.
that are banned, however. There are
I can
banned
imagine.
Garys. There are
There's-
banned Garys.
Yeah.
All right?
There's at least one I can think of.
Yes. Lineker, dirty...
He's
snail
actually a
from
decent guy.
SpongeBob.
From what I can
He's
see of
alright.
his Twitter profile, he does seem like a decent guy most
He's
of the time.
all right. You should also go to facebook.com/BigRedBarel, twitter.com/BigRedBarel, and youtube.com/BigRedBarel TV, where if you're already watching this, you've already found that place. So well done, you. And if you haven't been there, you get to see what our face heads look like.
Don't do that. They can see us on camera and stuff.
Oh, God. Coleman. I think Coleman's had enough internet for the day, so let's finish the show.
Yeah, that's...
He's
like,
getting
when
a bit
Amiibos come out to
excited
play-
now.
Oh.
Oh, little baby Yoda.
It's called Grogu.
What have I got? Huh? Calculator.
Good.
Because I'm sat at my work desk.
Good.
What else have I got? Ooh. Can I have a ooh?
Ooh. Oh wait, hold on.
He's got a sound effect for it, Dan. It'll only take him 5 minutes to find it. Oh.
Hole punch.
That is a decent punchline.
I will
any day
try
of the
and
week.
find equally exciting items in my office for next week's show.
I'm not sure you can top hole punch.
Oh, mate, I have a treasure trove of wonders in my drawer here.
Stop it.
I don't want to know.
We got to go, Dan.
Yep.
All right, we're going to go. All right, okay. So anyway,
Come back to us, Dan.
Thank you ever so much for listening.
Back to the room.
The main thing that we've got left on our list of things to do is to remind you that I have been Dan.
I may have been Tim.
And I've been the king, baby.
Oh no, the king is back.
Bow down and kiss the ring, and I don't wear jewelry.
Anyway. So thank you ever so much for listening, and until next time, dear listeners, toodle bye.
Welcome for the podcasting goodness that you just heard. Why not roll on over to BigRedBarel.com for more podcasts, news, reviews, and videos from the biggest, reddest site on the internet, BigRedBarel.com.
Yay!
Nice one. There we go.
There we go. So those on the audio version, that is a PlayStation 5 disc version in my hand that I just strained my wrist lifting up.